Okay, good evening everyone, lovely to see you, thank you for coming. I know we're competing with a few other things like farmhouse pre-book concerts and dance showcases, in which I believe several are SMTs, you may not have actually competed. Only imagine what that's considered. But lovely to see you all, thank you for coming. Thank you for not being overwhelmed by the change of the structure of the room. Very exciting, trying something new. Mostly to do with the speakers, so we'll see how that goes. But it's been a fairly busy time in the last couple of weeks for our students, and I know there's a few people that are wondering about what's wrong with my calendar making talents and techniques. Because last week we had, of course, St John's Square. Monday we had the intermediate Young Musician of the Year. We've got tonight, of course. Next week a lot of the students are doing exams, maybe RSM and Trinity exams. This Sunday there's several students, some in the room, who are travelling up to London to compete in the final of the Pro Quarter Chamber Music Competition. So lots going on for our students, and then obviously the holidays and a week and a half time in which we can all collapse and have a good rest. But we're here now, so thank you for coming everyone. Really looking forward to today. The Young Musician of the Year competition this year consisted of about 340 students over the course of 3 days in 4 different venues. It was pretty chaotic but pretty glorious celebration of music in the school with that much going on in different places around the place. And then those evenings, Miss GB, Mr Watsu, Mr Smith and I came up with this list tonight and the list that we heard on Monday, which was equally fabulous. I just want to talk a little bit about this competition. As you know, this year was the 75th anniversary of House Song, which is an amazing achievement really for school to celebrate house singing and that kind of culture in the school. Young Musician of the Year hasn't lasted quite that long. I'm not sure how long, possibly about 10 years. But it's named after one of this school's most illustrious musician OAs, old Ardinglyans, Stephen Oliver. Stephen Oliver was a student here in the 60s. In his time here, he composed, I think, 150 pieces of music, including 3 grand scale operas, a couple of symphonies, a full mass that the school used to sing for their communion services. Amazing guy. He went on to become one of this country's most loved and well-known composers. He tragically died, I think it was 1992. And since then, some of your predecessors, some of the students, have made a society called the Stephen Oliver, Ardingly College Music Society, which has then met once a week or once a fortnight. You know, I think it's been running for about 5 years, which is a pretty amazing tribute and a cool sort of community of commemorating and tributing to a great man, a great musician, and a great OA. So his family actually donated this beautiful trophy a few years ago. How many years ago, Megan? 4 or 5 years ago?
Yes.
So this is the Young Musician of the Year Senior Trophy, which is locked up in our cabinet around the corner. Obviously the name of the winner goes on it, and on the board there. So that's what tonight's about. It's about commemorating an OA, but more importantly it's about celebrating the culture of music making in the school. And we've been so impressed in the lead up to this. There's been no stress, there's been lots of support for each other. And just remember that it's not really a competition. The thing that we're really interested in, guys, and the things that we're very proud of is the progress that you've made, the love that you've come to have for music, and and seeing you grow as musicians and as a community. It really is an amazing thing to behold, and it makes this job a real privilege. Speaking of competition, it's an impossible thing to do, judging a music competition. It's a bit of a silly thing, really, but sport's much easier. You know who wins because the winning team has more goals. Music is such a subjective thing, isn't it? It's like comparing apples with oranges. So I'm not at all jealous of the unenviable task that our adjudicator has tonight. We're very lucky to have Mr Eamonn Dougan with us tonight. Mr Eamonn Dougan has a very impressive biography. I've taken out about 90% of it, so what's on the paper is just what was left. He is the assistant director of groups such as the 16, which is arguably this country's most famous and professional choir. He works as a freelance all over the world, mostly conducting choirs, vocal coaching, teaching singing. We're very, very fortunate to have him. He's also got some history with Ardingly. He used to work here. So thank you so much, Eamonn, for coming and sharing your expertise and your skills. And I know he's going to be able to make some nice helpful comments about each performance after they've performed. The plan is, guys, we're going to go we're going to do the first half, and then we're going to have a few comments from Mr Dougan, and then we're going to have a little break, and then we'll carry on with the second half. When you come up to play or to sing, if you could introduce yourself, what you're going to perform, and something that would be really nice. It just creates a lot more, gives the audience a bit more information, makes it more meaningful. That doesn't need to be long, just something about it, please. Okay. Awesome. We're going to start with Leo, and then we're going to move on to Charlotte and Sadie, because I've got to run off to the dance show. Okay? Is that okay? Awesome. Take it away, Leo. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Leo. Okay. Hello, I'm Leo, and I'm going to be playing the trombone, and I'm going to be playing Caravan by Ellington with Mr. Smith on the piano. Woo!
I'm Sadie, and I'm going to be singing There Are Lessons I Could Do from Greece, written by Warren Casey. There were worse things I could do than go with a boy or two, even though the neighborhood
I've played on the harpsichord and on the Ardingly College Chapel organ, so yeah.
Just do a little quick little sound check. Can you come, Joe, can you come into the middle so we can get you on camera? Awesome. Tell me if this is going to be loud enough, yeah? Okay. I'll just play a little bit, yeah?
Huh?
I'll just play a little bit. Tell me if it's all right. It's pretty loud out here, Jelly. Is it all right for you?
Yeah. Never mind.
Sorry? very sadly, Matilda's not able to be with us tonight, so we're going to jump to Harrison, if that's okay.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Harrison. My piece is a little bit different to Charlie's. I'm going to be performing Stars from Les Mis, which follows Inspector Javert on his quest to hunt down and arrest the notorious criminal Jean Valjean.
Brilliant, everyone. What a great first half. Awesome work.
Right, everyone. So we're going to start with some comments, and then we'll get into the show. Yeah, great. Let's welcome Eamonn.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for the invitation to be here. What a great first half. Tim said that he didn't envy me this job, and I'm already sitting in the back chewing my nails thinking, oh my god, how do we choose this? So I don't have to make any decisions as yet. So I just wanted to give a little bit of feedback to the people who have performed now while it's sort of fresh in my mind, rather than trying to remember it all at the end. So Leo, who kicked us off, where's Leo?
He's
Oh,
right.
he's had to leave.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's an absolute, that's drawing the short straw, isn't it? Having to go first. And he was cool as a cucumber. It's not easy to do that. Lovely tone right from the get-go. Good use of the marked dynamics. I thought we maybe could have gone a little further with the range of dynamics. What was marked there? Just making bigger musical gestures. With a tune like that where the basic melody doesn't have a huge amount of rhythmic variety in it, we've got to look for opportunities to how we can vary, how we can bring invention into a melody like that. So if you've got 4 crotchets in a bar, 4/4, you've got to play those crotchets in those. You've got to try to not play 4 crotchets in the same way. So see what you can bring to it, so you can bring more of your own musical personality. And in a jazzy piece like that, that's what gives it the swing and the dance that we're looking for. That was a great start to it. Sadie, who's also not here now, and this was, I just thought, brave singing right from the get-go. To stand up, for anyone to stand up and sing a song in front of other people, there's no instrument to hide behind. You've got nothing, it's just you and them, and it takes real courage. I thought she did a wonderful job with that and immediately captured the character and the presentation of what the song was about right from the get-go. You could see the real commitment. I loved the hands in the pockets. I thought that was a nice touch. I think one should be careful when you're singing not to close your eyes too much because it can cut you off from the audience a little bit, although I could understand why she was doing it. But I think it's just something to think about. When we sing quietly, you have to do more with the text rather than less with it. It's kind of counterintuitive that if you're going to sing quietly, you might think that you need to sort of go into a smaller box. Actually, it's the other way around. You need to go into a bigger box and do more with it and less. So that sense of a sort of stage whisper. But when we sing quietly, do more with the text. And again, I can understand why she did it because she was so in the moment, but that sense of getting caught visually where your eyes are down, from an audience perspective, that's not always great. So some of that is brilliant, but actually just keeping your eyes up so that you've got that link with your audience a bit more of the time. But I want to tell her that I thought that was a very brave, impressive performance. Charlotte, who played the guitar, I just love this. Wasn't it? It was absolutely gorgeous. Really centred. She was so calm and focused throughout, and played it in such a way that you could feel the audience being drawn towards her. Yeah. So she didn't have to. It wasn't a massively extrovert performance because it wasn't that kind of piece. But right from the get-go, you could feel the focus in the room becoming more and more concentrated, coming towards her all the time. Rhythmically, very strong, which I think is not easy on the guitars. There's a lot of that finger work can be technically very challenging. And she showed several different techniques, which was great to see. Consistently beautiful sound. It was gentle and understated, but as I said, that's what I thought the piece needed, and I thought she judged how to play it, not just technically, but musically, really, really well. Anyway, you can tell them I said horrible things about them if you like, but it was a lovely trio to start the evening with. And then Kenny playing the list. There's Kenny over here. Yeah, lovely. Great intro. And love that. So one of the criteria that I just jotted down for myself was about presentation. Because that's really important. If you're going to perform, it's how you stand up and deliver yourself. And you gave us an expectation immediately of what the piece might be, just by what you said. Didn't need to be too much. It was lovely. Very poised throughout, which I thought was fantastic. Some lovely colours which you brought from the piano. And interestingly, one of the things that I really liked about your performance was how you used the silence. Now that musically, you might think, well, that's not, music, silence doesn't involve, it's not part of the performance, but au contraire, Blackadder, it absolutely is. I think it was Mozart who said that the music is in the silences between the notes. And that's a really interesting way to think about it, and I thought you really picked up on that. These rhetorical little gaps and gestures that you brought to it were great. I think one challenge within this music is trying to bring out the melodies when they're there, because there's so much else going on in the piano, and I thought you really succeeded to do that. I think that's something to keep working on all the time, to find those those internal melodies that need bringing out. I said that you were very poised, which you were. It's great. Liszt was also a real showman. Right? He loved the fact that he was this great virtuoso, that he had his So I think you should grow your hair a little bit more. Work on that. But I think in terms of the arpeggiated figures, which you played really beautifully, I think you could maybe find a little bit more flamboyance with that varied, and some of them be a little quicker, some of them a little slower, just a bit more variety in those. It was lovely. Well done. And then Alex, who wins the prize for socks of the evening so far. Lovely. I loved hearing why this piece means a lot to you. Again, it immediately put us at ease as listeners, so to know what it is what it means to you. And right from the get-go, as you played, I relaxed. My first note was a little bit out of tune, but it didn't matter. Actually, it didn't matter because of the way you delivered that first note. Beautiful tone throughout, generally sound intonation. The high melody, the sort of second melody, was very sensitively delivered. Again, you've got a great way you've got these repeated notes, which could be really boring, but I love the shape that you gave to them, showed a real musical intelligence, which is great, and I think everyone can see the connection you've got to this music. One thing I would say, that try breathing before you play, like as if you're going to sing the phrase. You know, it literally, that sense of, rather than just trying to start cold, you might find it just helps with the sort of onset of the sound, so there's a sort of that physical connection. And when you finish the piece, when you played it as well as you did, hold the mood, yeah? It's like you got to the end of it, it's like, oh, don't know. Just hold it for, and this goes to everyone, a few people would have benefited from this, that sense of you've done all the hard work, just make the audience wait for a second and let them just enjoy what you've just done. And then relax. Yeah? Great. And then, Olufale. This was, I just love this, right? Right from the get-go. I mean, I've already said how brave it is to stand up and sing. Like, the first split second that you started singing, I completely believed everything that you sang. Everything that you said. It's complete conviction. And you know, any kind of musical performance, if it's done with real conviction, commitment, and heart behind it, it persuades us. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter what sort of, how experienced we are as performers. If you mean it, that really comes across. And I believed, as I said, every word of what you did here. There were some lovely parlando moments, by which I mean you sort of spoke the text almost as much as sang it, and I think that's really suitable to the style of this music. I think you need to work a little bit more with your consonants to make sure that we can understand every word, because that's the number one job of a singer, is to make sure that what we say is understood by the audience. I understand that you only just recently started singing, which I can't believe. I think that's extraordinary. As a young baritone, speakers are not very young baritone, but just be patient with your voice. It'll take a little while to settle down and develop. That's a hard thing for singers at this age, of all voice types, is that voices take quite a while to develop, and we have to be patient. We've got to let them grow at their own rate. But I think you're going to be absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait. So I'm going to come back to concerts in the years to come, see what you're doing. When we're nervous as singers, one of the first things to go can be the flow of the breath. So just see if you can just make that breath flow and just feed one note into the next. So when you've got something which is a bit more lyrical, you can just let the melody really sing out. But I loved it, thank you. And then Anna, yes, oh, this was lovely. Where's Anna? Yeah, I really liked this. I don't know Ian Clark, but lovely. You can tell it's a flautist who wrote it, though. Yeah, really, just absolutely in the right sound world. You showed technical fluency, great core to the sounds throughout the registers, lovely variety of timbre. I thought you had an instinctive feel for the music, and that thereby an instinctive feel for what it is to be a flautist. Melodies really sang out. I'm positively envious of the tone that you can produce at the lower end, and you made the sort of more filigree, florid writing at the top sound really easy. Great poise at the end. You did exactly what I was just talking about, where you held that last note and just kept the mood of the music in the room. It was really impressive. So one small thing is just to keep an ear on the piano. There's a few moments where your intonation just diverged a little bit. That's just a small thought. And then Yeah, well, but look, again, cool as a cucumber. A little slip at the moment, memory slip, doesn't matter. You actually dealt with that very well. And something worth remembering is never as bad as it feels. When it happens, you feel like that you need the world to sort of swallow you up. It's never as bad as it feels, so just hang on to that. You've got a real feel for this music, Baroque music. It's just in you, isn't it? I think that's something it speaks very easily to you. You need to play more of this, yeah? And the fact that you've got an harpsichord here to play at school, not here, but didn't you say, did you play it before in London? Oh, okay, no, but have you got a harpsichord in school?
We'd quite like it, wouldn't we? We'd ask.
There you go. Just have a word with the headmaster or something like that. See what we can do. But it's interesting, isn't it, to play it on a harpsichord. When you've got a piano there, just see if you can get a bit more dynamic variety in it as well, because of course it's harder to do that with a harpsichord. You showed real technical facility. I think just don't be upset that it didn't go maybe exactly as you wanted it. That's live music. This sort of thing happens. Just embrace it and just move on. Then Ali. Brazilians. That's a great. Where's Ali? Sorry, there you are. Great name for a piece, isn't it? Brazilians. I think this was lovely. Some really beautiful, beautiful sounds. I've got a 13-year-old son who's a trumpeter, and I've got him to a purging because you've given him something to sort of to live up to. Lovely, lovely sound throughout. The melody in the B section was absolutely glorious. I love that. And the chromatic sort of scale passages were pretty fluent throughout, and they got better and better all the time. The little slips at the end do not matter. Right? They really, really don't, because you played so well before that, and you really, really performed it. So it's all part of the learning curve, isn't it? That you had these little slips. It just doesn't matter. And our job when we're up here performing is to keep performing. So there's this phrase, fake it till you make it. You don't need to fake it because you played really, really well. But if we have a little moment like that, just tough it out. Yeah? Don't let the mask slip. And I think you should be really pleased with how you played in that. So at the end, the little slip at the end that you were clearly a bit disappointed with, just let it go. It doesn't matter, because actually you played really well. Well done. Joseph, man, the man with the most hypnotic fingers I've ever seen. This is fantastic. I really love this. I mean, real technical control going on here. That rhythmic control at the beginning. I'm not a bass player, I don't know, but it looks difficult to me. They're going. But then in the melodic section, that was real technical facility that we were seeing there. The different techniques, the slap bass. I was brought back to my days of listening to level 42 back in the 80s. Parents, anyone? Yeah. Impressive feat of memory as well to stitch all that together. And we saw that just a couple of little smiles to your friends in the audience, it goes such a long way to building that connection with the audience. Because it might have been to your friends, but we as audience members pick up on it. And that, showing that sort of that humanity and that personality is a great thing. Don't underestimate how far that can go, how far that can take you. Improvising was great. More of that, please. Yeah, well done. Charlie. I mean, where are we? Charlie. Is he here? Oh, there you are. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to thank you for a new musical experience. I'm 50 this year. Been around a while doing this. I've never experienced that before. So, genuinely, thank you. That was new. Sonne means sun in German.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you lit the room up. It's just a real experience for me. Rhythmically, extremely solid and really, really controlled. Fluent as you moved across the kit. I thought this was great. I wondered whether, actually, as you felt so comfortable doing it, I was hoping that you were going to just vary it a little bit, add in a few fills, some little licks maybe. I think that's something to experiment because you're so on it technically. I think you can now free it up a little bit. Start to just experiment with what more you can bring to it. But yeah, I'm going to go home whistling that one. And then Harrison, who finished off again. The fact, where's Harrison? Sorry, there you are. The fact that you just referenced Charlie's piece, got a little laugh again, it just goes such a long way to getting everyone on side. And another, like 3 singers that we heard in that first half, all of whom gave totally committed lots of words in this song, which you delivered in a really natural manner, and that's great. It's exactly what the style of the song needs, and not too sung. It has this kind of parlando feel to it as well. I think when you do get the chance to sing a melody, just see if you can think a little bit more horizontally rather than vertically, because you were giving it so much conviction, commitment. It meant the melodies just felt a little bit sort of percussive that way, and actually when you get the chance to have a line, we can enjoy that melody a little bit more. The big notes towards the end were fab, and I was very impressed with that. Actually, the technique that you showed, that when we go for that belt, that opening up the chest, I thought that was really impressive. Just keep singing like you did, and it's great. As I said to Olafile, just be patient with your voice, give it time to grow. Don't expect it to sound, absolutely the finished product yet, because it'll take a little while. But seriously impressive from everyone. So on to the rest of the evening.
Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Toby. I'm playing the oboe, the third movement of Cimarosa's oboe concerto, the Siciliana. So listen for some dotted rhythms and some kind of ornaments, A-level music, that's Siciliana. And the Neapolitan six, which we've just learned in music actually.
Oh, wow.
So listen out guys, I know. It's, if you don't know what it is, just write it on the break.
Hello, I'm Noah, and I'll be singing the song You'll Be Back from the musical Hamilton, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. The song is about my character is King George III, and he's quite literally says that he wants to squash the Americans. Their attempt at trying to gain their independence, and he says that they'll come crawling back to the British Empire. Enjoy. You say the price of my love's not a price that you're willing to pay. You cry in the tea which you heard in the sea when you see me go by. Why so sad? Remember we made an arrangement when you went away. Now you're making me mad. Remember, despite our estrangement, I'm your man. You'll be back, soon you'll see. You'll remember you belong to me. You'll be back, time will tell. You'll remember that you served you well. Oceans rise, empires fall. We have seen each other through it all. And when push comes to shove, I will send a fully armed battalion to remind you of my love. Da 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 You say your love is draining and you can't go on. You'll be the one complaining when I'm gone. And no, don't change the subject, 'cause you're my favorite subject, my sweet submissive subject, my loyal subject, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You'll be back like before. I will fight the fight and win the war for your love, for your praise, and I'll love you till my dying days. When you're gone, I'll go mad, so don't throw away this thing we had. 'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family to remind
sent basically like a guitarless track, and the next day he sent it back, and it had his improvisation on it. So this is basically a transcription of that. Hope you enjoy it.
Just wait for the TV to wake up. Matt, are you going to use it again? On the drum. Danny, just tell me if this is the right volume, yeah? Is it enough? Yeah.
messes. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. Judgment God is calling. On the knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sins. Satan laughing spreads his wings. Oh Lord, yeah.
Okay, very sadly, William White's also unwell. It's the time of year, isn't it? I forgot to mention as well, Darcy's unable to be with us as well. She's sick. So we're going to move on to Danny Yu now. Let's go.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be playing Rhapsody Bold Song. It's by Dennis Agay, and a fun fact is that there's no online rendition of this, so
and it's by an Italian composer called Giulio Caccini, and it was written in 1602, I think. And the piece is about two lovers, and one is confessing their love for the other and saying that, you know, they're never going to leave them and just reassuring them. Also, I apologise in advance to any fluent Italian speakers in the audience, in case I'm not butchering it in your useful language. This was originally written for the basset clarinet, and then last week I was lucky enough to play it at St John's on the A clarinet, and now this is on trusty old B clarinet. So see how it's going.
in performing justice.
say those comments and we'll announce the prizes. But I just have to say, guys, it was a fairly inspiring evening. We've done it in just under 3 hours, but it's gone, it seems to have gone in a flash, isn't it? Yeah? Stay here all night and do this. It really is something to wake up to and come to work and do this, guys, and work with people like you, musicians such as yourselves. It's not really, I was just thinking, it's not really about the music though that we're most proud of, it's the human aspect, and actually what Eamonn said before really resonated. It's the human things that are the things we're most proud of, and when you say things like, I really love this piece because, or this is my favourite recording, or the aspect of this piece, or anything that is to do with the you, that's what we're really interested in. We're interested in people, not really music. Music is the vehicle in which we're trying to inspire and transform lives by doing that, but it's really about you guys and the way that you've come and developed and progressed over the last few months, this term in particular, the last few weeks in particular, with the heats, with St John's, with house music, with all the stuff that's sort of led to this moment, has been no less than inspiring for us as teachers. So I really want to commend and congratulate you. And thank you. And thank you for your support to each other. No one seems stressed, that's really cool. Tonight and Monday have been really, really chilled. Okay, the standing gets better and better, and the community aspect and just the vibe gets better and better and better. So that's all that you guys do in the company. So thank you. I also want to thank Mr Smith because he's done the bulk of the company, and I know that he enjoys it as much as I do, and he's such a supportive colleague to you, and he supports you all the way. So let's give him a round of applause too. To you guys and to your music, and I know that I've received at least 3 messages from them wishing us luck, but wishing you luck, and I know that they're here in spirit. So I think we don't need to thank them because they're not here. I don't think they're here, but do thank them when you see them next week and say how well you did and how proud of yourself you are, and how grateful you are for them and all that they've helped you in your journey to get to the stage, because they are a big part of your life, and you'll remember that. I think when you leave school, whether you carry on with music or not. Hopefully you'll carry on with music leisurely, but you'll remember the lessons. Someone was saying to me, Laura was saying to me at St John's Square, Laura Crooks, who left here a couple of years ago, she was saying to Miss GB the other day, Miss GB, I finally realised what you were saying, she's studying music, I finally realised what you were saying about something or other about singing talk. And Miss GB, I'm talking about you, with the anecdote that you gave. Laura, 3 years on, has finally realised what Miss GB was telling her all these years later. And I don't think Miss GB is frustrated about it. I think that's a really cool feeling. But it's worth mentioning that to the BMTs, because that's what makes them want to get out of bed in the morning and come and work with you guys. It's having that feedback as well. I know you are grateful, and well done to you. Yeah, good job. Thank you. Hopefully he's done. We'll come back and have some more comments. Don't run away.
Thank you for your patience. So I'm just going to dive straight in and just talk through the comments on the pieces that we heard in the second half. Toby. Thank you for the explanation of what a Siciliana is. I appreciated that. Beautiful singing quality to your playing, really lovely, very musically phrased. In this piece, it's one of those pieces when I saw it on the paper, I thought, I don't know that, and then of course I started playing, oh, of course I do know that. The dialogue that you had between the pianos, and the pianos, really lovely. Just from an audience perspective, physically, I think it would actually be nice if you could just retain that poise that you have when you're playing, so that you don't take away from, well, Mr Smith in this instance, from what he's doing actually. So it just feels a bit more like a partnership rather than him accompanying, because that's the nature of the writing there, isn't it? Neapolitan sixth notwithstanding, of course, so I like the little sort of, there's the Neapolitan sixth moment. Yeah, I thought you played really beautifully. I was just left wanting to hear a bit more. It was a shame. So I wonder whether there's a lesson in there to just think about maybe in terms of choice of repertoire for this sort of occasion, because I was wondering what else was under the bonnet. But what you did, I think, was really beautiful. Thank you. Well done. And then Cheryl with the list, more list. Oh, sorry, we're a bit high. Lovely, again, very centred performance. That's one of the things of everyone this evening. Like, nobody has played in a sense that you've had any sense of sort of panic at any point. It's been very concentrated. You've all been very, very professional, I think. I thought thought you showed a very sensitive musical personality and a wonderful, delicate pianistic touch. Very, very beautifully done. A little slip towards the end of the B section, but I thought you recovered from that really well, and you had a really nice return to the original melody. As I said to Kenny earlier, I think again it's Liszt, so maybe the same thing here, just to practice bringing out those melodies. And I think this music can take more rubato, more of the push and pull, just really drive it forward at times, and then make some of the round tenders bigger. So it's got more of that sort of impetuoso feel. Yeah, but again, lovely, very, very musically done. Noah, good evening, Noah. This was just a powerhouse performance. First and foremost, well actually not first and foremost, but I understood every single word you sang. So that's job number one as a singer, tick. Because otherwise, what's the point of being a singer? Or what's the great benefit of being a singer is that we have words. Yeah? So we're already streets ahead, all instrumentalists. But it is our great, I mean, it's our great gift, but it's also our greatest challenge, I think, is to get the text across clearly. But not just that, but to imbue the text with real meaning as well. And you lived every single second of it. There was so much personality on the show. It was, as all the singers this evening have been very brave, and you were no different there. You absolutely pinned your colours to the mast from the get-go. But that's only part of the challenge of that song, because vocally it was also really, really well sung. It's a huge range in that piece. It's a big, big range. It's not easy to cover a vocal range like that when you're, what are you, 17? 16, 17? Yeah, 17? You know, I thought you showed some real technique there, even going into falsetto at the top, which was pretty seamless. You know, that was great. It got better and better throughout. Your passive aggression is frightening. It was hugely enjoyable. Well done. And then Matthew, I mean, fucking heck. Not to put too fine a point on it. I didn't write much with you because it was just, I wrote Tekkers at the beginning because it's just absolutely extraordinary technical facility that you have already. How old are you? Yeah, just, I mean, I didn't hear a note out of place. And just because it's not a classical instrument, that doesn't mean that doesn't require a huge amount of dedication and practice. The different techniques that you showed us, the pitch bend and the finger vibrato, and then that playing on the fingerboard, it was just super impressive. You know, as I said, I didn't hear anything really that made me think, oh, you could have done that better. It felt pretty flawless. Very, very impressive. Well done. Dan, sorry. Oh no, sorry, the other one, the drummer, Daniel, sorry. Daniel rather than Dan. The first thing I read was Mick Fleetwood. Because at the beginning, it was Mick Fleetwood-esque in the way he plays, wonderfully sort of loose and louche, actually, was the word I wrote. Loose and relaxed and very, do you know who I mean by Mick Fleetwood? Drummer of Fleetwood Mac. He's very tall, like sort of 6'6", huge guy. When he plays, it's quite loose a lot of the time. But then when he shifted into when the vocal came in on the backward track, it was a pleasant surprise that then suddenly we got this injection of energy. And in what you were playing, the rhythmic divisions of all the triplets and the semi-quavers were all extraordinarily solid. I actually literally had to look at one point to see whether he had an extra arm. There was so much going on. It was brilliant. And the flourish at the end was great. I mean, you look so incredibly focused and calm and cool when you're there doing it. But actually what's coming out is very impressive as well. So well done. Go and check out Mick Fleetwood on video if you haven't watched it. Danny, you, with the Rhapsody, this was lovely. You brought a really lovely lyrical quality to the melody and a really beautiful sound to match. There are a lot of elements in this piece. There's a lot going on, isn't there? I think given the quality that you gave that principal tune at the beginning, and maybe the introduction, you could make it more dramatic, forthright, and you did at the beginning. And I just thought you could have carried that energy, that drama, for a little longer. You dissipated it beautifully, but I thought, just take the energy that the piano provides at the beginning and carry that forward. The melody, as I said, you played it with this lovely lyrical quality to it. I just wanted a little more rhythm occasionally. I didn't always feel like we knew exactly where we were going with it. Just wanted wanted to lock in a little bit more. But I think that's because you phrase so sensitively. Right? You've got a real sense of the up and down of the lines. Almost to the extent that occasionally I lost a little bit at the end of the line. And it's a difficult balance to strike, that thing between phrasing in a very sensitive fashion and actually just maybe sometimes going too far down that road, so it disappears a little bit. But at this stage in your development, absolutely better to be able to phrase like that, and you do it totally instinctively, which is great. Big moments, just go for it a little bit more. But that's a big piece. You know, as I say, there's so much going on. It was a really convincing performance. Well done. Malika, I'm not surprised you broke a string last week. What a way to start a piece with that sort of technical challenge right from the get-go. And there are lots of technical challenges in this piece, all of which I thought you managed really admirably. The double stopping was great. What do you call that effect where you're bouncing the boat? I can't remember. Ricochet, thank you. Yeah, I mean, which comes, you know, again and again. You totally caught the mood right from the get-go. You sort of grabbed the Spanish bull by the horns, and off you went with it. It was full of that Latin fire, but you also showed a really sensitive side of that beguiling piano middle section, which I thought was really beautiful. What I said to some of the people in the first half about just holding the mood, the end of it is a real showstopper. Yeah, and I can remember a former teacher of mine saying this: when you've got a piece like that finishes like that, you just need to have a bit of that about and just challenge the audience to not clap. They're not going to be able to, so it's got to be a go on, clap. Because everyone was absolutely going to clap. Yeah, so just live in the moment. Stay. You've done all the hard work. Actually, just enjoy it for that tiny bit longer. Yeah, well done. Was it Louisa next? Yeah. Where's Louisa? Sorry, go there. Right in front. I thought this was in many ways the hardest of vocal pieces this evening. Yeah. And it's got long vocal lines in which the sort of music theatre pieces don't have in a similar way. The difficult language, which actually I thought Italian was really, really good. You phrased it really well. You structured the piece really well. The sort of progressions through it, the sequences, I thought were really well managed. The repeated Amarilli phrases were really well judged. The way they built up some super stylish ornaments. As someone who knows, you know, I've done a lot of early music in my time, and they were really, really appropriate to those. Lovely sound, really, and which I thought you grew in confidence as you sang through the song, particularly at the top. I think you can risk a little more overt emotion. Yeah. So it's about going to the Italian extreme of it rather than the English extreme. If you know what I mean. And I think in a song like this, yes, it is early music, but the emotions are still absolutely real and true. So I think, you know, the next time you sing it, which should be soon, just push it a little further. Each time you do, just push the boundaries so that the emotional response is not that big, but you know, it gets bigger each time. Lovely. Roosevelt with the Mozart. That's a great piece, isn't it? Where have we gone, Roosevelt? Sorry. Thank you. Hello. I can't see beyond. I need the glasses to read the words, but then I can't see anything beyond that. You've got a real knack for creative and inventive phrasing. Yeah, really, there was so much interest in the way you shaped your long lines, and I thought it really made me sit up and listen, because that's a piece I know quite well. But it was new. I was hearing new and different things, and I thought it was just really inventive. As I said, I think Mozart would have absolutely approved of that. He'd like to sort of shake things up a little bit. He'd have loved that. You caught the playful mood of it really well, and I thought you had a really good understanding of the structure and the shape of the movement as a whole. You could tell actually that you performed it recently. I just thought a little bit of the detailed passage work just could have done with a little bit more slow practice. Interestingly, that I bet when you played it last week, it might have just been a little bit more secure. But you've made a withdrawal from your account by performing it last week. And any time that if you've done loads and loads of practice on a piece and then performed it, one needs to go back and just make some deposits, repay some of those withdrawals. But it didn't take away from the enjoyment of it at all. I really, really enjoyed your performance. And then we had the Beethoven with Louise. This is just, lovely. That opening, which is really perfectly. And you play this really, really well. Yeah, really well. I think now is a time for you to experiment with pushing your emotional boundaries a little bit with it, to risk give it a greater sense of rubato, that ebb and flow that we were talking about earlier. Just push the boundaries a little bit. Actually, you did that when the triplets started. So I'd already used a little more rubato, and then you started doing it. So that puts me back in my place. But I think even within that beautiful melody at the beginning, you could just experiment with it and just free it up a little bit more. When you come back into that main melody, the rallentando could be bigger, and by doing that, you can sort of play with the audience's emotions a bit more, because I think everyone was loving what they were hearing, and actually then it gives you the license to just like tug their heartstrings a little bit more, sort of delaying when you get back to that cadence. I mean, this is quite advanced stuff I'm talking about, but I think you can do it. So I would really encourage you to do that. So you're never playing a phrase the same way twice. Always inventing, always creating. And that's what gives the music its rhetorical shape. Yeah, but it was beautiful, well done. And that's a favourite piece of mine, so thank you for playing it. And then Nuria, I have to ask you, who's your favourite recording? Of course it is. Yeah, of course. I was very lucky. I did this piece with Ardingly College at the end of last year. She's a British cellist, very fine British cellist. And I was sitting there at the beginning thinking, yeah, that's pretty much sort of the same kind of sound well that Natalie produced. Beautiful sound, full of depth, and that's exactly what that melody needs. But then you were also able to show the delicacy that it needed later on. The melody in the B section was really beautifully inflected and shaped. Those 4 crotchets that you get each bar, there was lots of variety, lots of invention there, which was great. Within those melodies, if you've got an appoggiatura like that, just stretch it, like milk it for all its worth. So the expressive potential that's in there, again, really transmits itself to the audience. And whereas one might feel that you've made a gesture, actually if you listen back to it, you realise that you can actually go a lot further with that. And that's something for all of us, that when you do something musical, you might think, right, I've really nailed that. You listen to a recording and you're hardly conscious of it. So it's a lesson there for all of us that actually we can do a lot more within the musical shapes that we're making. Yeah, it was great, lovely. I think just maybe a little bit more overt emotion again at the end, because it's really in you. I think don't keep the music at arm's length, bring it in. But the end, I thought the end was beautifully judged, just absolutely spot on. Well done. Anyway, so that's that. I'm going to run away now. No, I have had to obviously make I just want to add just a couple of things, if I may, to just wrap up. Mr. Carter said at the beginning that 340 students took part in this process. That is absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. I'm sure you're aware of this, but you're extremely fortunate to be here at a school where you can partake of such an extraordinary music department and to have these lessons. And I don't want to turn this into a political statement, but make no mistake, we have a fight on our hands in this country to preserve music and the arts currently. Yeah? It's not respected, it's not valued from the top of the country downwards. You are the people who need to bring this fight forward. And everything that I've seen tonight is wonderfully encouraging and gives me enormous hope. So please, keep doing what you're doing. Wear your heart on your sleeve, immerse yourself in all this music, because it's incredibly important. Not just for you as individuals, not for us as an audience, but as a society, as communities. We'd be lost without it. So don't take it for granted. I know you don't, but value it for what it is and pay that forward. Another thing that Mr. Carpenter said that really struck me was how he said that there was lots of support for each other. That's palpable in this room. And I think that's a great credit to the music department here and all the staff. But the fact that you are supporting each other, there's nothing more important as a musician than to be a good colleague. I've been, as I say, doing this for quite a long time now, and when you know that your colleagues are there to back you up when you're having a bad day, if you're not playing so well, if you're not singing so well, and you know that the guy who you stood next to for 20 years is just going to step up and carry you for those, you know, those moments you need them. You can't put a price on that, and it forges friendships that last, you know, all through your life. And that's an equally important element of what can come out of music. So, anyway, there we go. That's enough of the sort of lecture. But I felt it's important to say that, so thank you for giving me the time to do that.
Well, can I just interrupt just before you make the really difficult decisions and announcements? That is a real masterclass in adjudication, everyone, and I think you'll agree. Such specific feedback about every single one of you. It's like he knew you all, but he's seeing you for the first time. And he's saying things that as teachers, we're all agreeing with, that we've known you for a long time. I think that is a real art, so thank you, Eamonn. Really specific feedback, really helpful, really positive. Taking things that you did so well and then and then saying something about it that we can all relate to and learn from. So I think we'll all really benefit from that. So thank you very much, Eamonn.
This is the horrible part of the evening thing. There just aren't enough awards. You could literally give something to everyone, but of course that's not the nature of this event. So please don't take it amiss if you're not on the list, and just be really proud of what you've done this evening, because you absolutely deserve to just be proud of yourself, and you've shown yourselves in a great light and a great credit to yourselves. So we've got five awards to give. The first is the commended category, and this is going to Daniel Tubnam, otherwise known as Mick Fleetwood. Highly commended goes to Joseph Amenta for his virtuoso performance. Third place is to Noah Diston. Yeah, fantastic. Second place will go to Anna Edmonds. And so, the 2024 Young Musician of the Year at Ardingly College is Matthew Miller. Thanks very much for your time. Thanks for your patience, parents. Well done, everyone.
Thank you very much. So if you're a boarder, we're going to creep back quietly because I imagine some of the alarms have been set already. Luckily we've got the head of boarding in the room, so we've got someone to support us. Could I have everyone that was awarded a certificate to stay behind for a couple of quick photos, please? Thank you very much, everyone. Bravo. Thanks so much for coming. See you next time.
Thank you.